It's Mrs. Ferris from Wood Library, and welcome to this month's Spotlight On program. Today we're shining the spotlight on Robert Kraus, the author of over 130 children's books. When he was just 10 years old, his love of drawing helped him win a contest by the local newspaper, a cartoon contest. At the age of 12, he was supplying cartoons on a weekly basis to that same newspaper. And at the age of 16, he sold his first cartoon to the New Yorker magazine. Pretty impressive. Let's get started, though, with his first book that we're going to be reading about. This is called Whose Mouse Are You? It is written by Robert Kraus, and the illustrations are by Jose Arguello. I love the cover, don't you, with those eyes just peeking at you? Whose mouse are you? Nobody's mouse. Where is your mother? Inside the cat. Where is your father? Caught in a trap. Where is your sister? Far from home. Where is your brother? I have none. What will you do? Shake my mother out of the cat. Free my father from the trap. Find my sister and bring her home. Wish for a brother, as I have none. Now whose mouse are you? My mother's mouse. She loves me so. My father's mouse, from head to toe. My sister's mouse. She loves me too. My brother's mouse. Your brother's mouse? My brother's mouse. He's brand new. Isn't it a fun story? Well, I'm going to get us ready to do a craft. We're going to be making our own mouse. So before we go, I'm going to just tell you the things you're going to need. You're going to need one of the packages from your grab bag that has the gray pieces in it. And then you're also going to need some scissors from home. And I think that's it for right now. Oh, and a glue stick. So if you want to get those ready, I'll get myself ready here, and we'll get ready to make our own mouse. See you in a minute. Are you ready to make your mouse? Make sure you've grabbed the bag that has mostly gray pieces in it. And let's take a look at everything that you would find in that bag. There's a pattern for the mouse body. There are two pink ovals that are the inner ears, and two larger ovals that are the outer ears. You've got a gray circle for his nose, and a piece of black paper that you're going to cut into 3 long strips to be his whiskers. So as I said before, what you need from home for this are scissors and a glue stick. So the first thing you're going to want to do is to cut out your mouse body. And I happen to have done mine already, so there's my mouse body. Then you're going to take your glue stick and start putting some of the pieces together. First, you're going to take one of the circles and put some glue on it. One of the pink circles, I should say. And I've got purple glue so you can kind of see where it is. And you're going to put it right on the gray circle. Gray oval, I should say, shouldn't I? To make an ear, just like that. You can see that it sticks out just a little bit all the way around. And then do it with the same way for the other side. And I do recommend getting the glue just about to the edge because that way it will stick on there better and won't curl up. So there's that. I'm going to let that dry a little bit. And you're going to take your mouse body and you're going to fold it in half, but not crease it. You're just going to bring it down like that. Line those up, and then you're going to want to put glue right about in here. And then squeeze it together so that it stays. And maybe you want to hold it for a little bit so that that glue can dry and hold the pieces together and they won't pop apart. So maybe you should sing, how about Hickory Dickory Dock? That's about a mouse. So, hickory dickory dock, the mouse went up the clock. The clock struck one, and the mouse ran down. Hickory dickory dock. Now what you could also do is you could put a paper clip in there, and I thought I had one. Yes, I do. I have one over here. You could put a paper clip in there and just have that hold it while you work on something else. So you could hold that just like that. And while that's drying, you could take your black piece of paper and cut it into 3 long strips. And they should be fairly thin because they're whiskers. So there's one. There's 2. And there's 3. And they probably don't have to be exactly the same width. That'll give him a little bit of personality. So now that your ears are ready and you've got your whiskers ready, you can probably put your ears right on there now. So as you can see, we're going to put them only halfway on. So when you put your glue on your ear, you only want to put it on one side of the back, like that. And then put it on so it sticks up a bit. And again, you're going to want to hold it until that glue catches. And then guess what you're going to do with this one? The same thing. So we'll just put some glue on it. Line it up so it's about the same height from the nose as the other one, and then hold it for a second while the glue dries. Starting to look like a mouse. This is probably all set now, so you can take your paper clip off, and then you're going to want to put a little bit of glue right there and lay your whiskers down. Now in the story, his whiskers all kind of went in the same direction, so I think that's what I'm going to do with mine. But I'll leave a little bit of space between each one. And then you're going to want to put some glue on the back of the nose. And press that right down on top. Kind of sandwich the whiskers in there. And then we've only got one thing left to do. He wants to be able to see, so let's put some glue on his eyes. Doing lots of googly eyes for today. Each one of our projects has some. And you can put your finger right inside to hold it. And press it down. And then do the same with the other. And guess what? Your mouse is all done. Are you ready for another story about Mouse and his family? I am, so I'll be right back. If you're all done, you may want to rinse off your hands if they're sticky from the glue, and then start the video again. So there's our mouse, and I think we ought to have another story about this mouse. There are actually 3 stories about the same mouse family. There's one that's also called Where Are You Going, Little Mouse? And the one we're going to share is called Come Out and Play, Little Mouse. Now, do you recognize this cat? I do. I think it's the one his mother was inside of. And look who's peeking out. Is that scary? I should mention that this book is also illustrated by Jose Arguello and also his wife, Ariane Dewey. Monday. Come out and play, little mouse. Oh, do you see? That's the cat's paw. I can't play today. I'm going shopping with my mother. Ask me tomorrow. So on Tuesday, do you see what he's got? Come out and play, little mouse. I can't play today. I've got to help my father paint the kitchen. Ask me tomorrow. So on Wednesday, what's he tempting him with this time? A toy car. Come out and play, little mouse. I can't play today. I've got to help my sister do the laundry. Ask me tomorrow. So on Thursday, it's not his paw coming in, is it? That's his eye peeking in. Come out and play, little mouse. Oh, I can't play today. I've got to help my little brother with his homework. Ask me tomorrow. So on Friday, he's got a toy mouse. Come out and play, little mouse. I can't play today. I've got to clean my room. Ask me tomorrow. So then it was Saturday. Come out and play, little mouse. But you know what? That little mouse isn't there. This is the little brother, the one that was just born in our other story. My big brother's busy, but I'll play with you. Let's play hide and seek. Let's play kick the can. Let's play ball. Let's play cards. Let's play jacks. Let's play hopscotch. No, said the cat. Let's play cat and mouse. You can run, but I'll catch you. The game is over, said the cat. No, it's not. Let's play dog and cat. Wham, bam, slam, oh. And there goes the cat, running away. Thank you, dog. I'm not a dog. I'm your big brother. So on Sunday, come out and play, little mice. We can't play today. You see their two eyes peeking out? We're playing with our family. I don't think that cat's going to get him. So one thing I was thinking you could do with your little mouse is you can play the first game that the baby mouse in that book, the little brother, wanted to play. He wanted to play hide and seek. You could have somebody hide this little mouse that you made and then see if you can find it. Or you can hide it and see if your brothers or sisters or mom or dad can find it. I think that would be fun. Well, we're going to go right to another story. So let me reach over here and get what is known as Robert Kraus's most famous book. This is called Leo the Late Bloomer. Now, I don't know if you've ever heard that term before, a late bloomer. It usually refers to, well, things in your garden that don't bloom right early in spring. They might be something that blooms later in the summer or maybe not until the fall. And you just have to wait for them because it's worth the wait to see what they look like. And it's going to be worth the wait for Leo's family too. This book is published by Windmill Books, which is a publishing company that Robert Kraus started. He worked a lot with William Steig for books. And you may know him from books like Sylvester and the Magic Pebble or Dr. DeSoto. But that would be another spotlight program. And if we look at Leo, he's not very happy. Poor Leo. Leo couldn't do anything right. He couldn't read. He couldn't write. He couldn't draw. He was a sloppy eater, and he never said a word. The owl says, hoot. The elephant says, trump. The snake says, hiss. The bird says, pip. And the crocodile says, crunch. But Leo, nothing. What's the matter with Leo? Asked Leo's father. Nothing, said Leo's mother. Leo is just a late bloomer. Well, better late than never, thought Leo's father. Now, every day, Leo's father watched him for signs of blooming. And every night, Leo's father watched him for signs of blooming. Are you sure Leo's a bloomer? Asked Leo's father. Patience, said Leo's mother. A watched bloomer doesn't bloom. So Leo's father watched television instead of Leo. The snows came. Leo's father wasn't watching, but Leo wasn't blooming. Actually, that's his father. That's Leo up there, chasing a rabbit. The trees budded. Leo's father wasn't watching, but Leo still wasn't blooming. Still chasing a rabbit. And then, one day, in his own good time, Leo bloomed. He could read. He could write. I don't know if you can see that. And that's hard to read because it's in cursive, but this is an L and an E and an O, a fancy one. That's his name, Leo. He could draw. He ate neatly. He also spoke, and it wasn't just a word. It was a whole sentence, and the sentence was, I made it! Just as Leo's mother knew he always would. Well, we're going to make our own Leos, so I'm going to get ready again. You're going to want to get the package from your bag that has a toilet paper tube in it and some orange paper. So I'll be right back. All right, well, we're going to make ourselves a tiger that looks like Leo. Inside the bag that you have for this project, you'll have a toilet paper tube, 2 pieces of orange paper, one that's larger than the other, We'll have 2 Google eyes, and that's it. So what you need to have on hand for yourself would be those scissors again, your glue stick, and you're also going to probably want a pencil. A black marker, can be a thin one or a wide one, and some Scotch tape. So let's get started. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to take the longer piece of orange paper and we're just going to wrap it around the toilet paper tube. And I find it easier than using the glue stick to just tape it on there. And then wrap it around evenly. And you'll find that it's going to be more than you need. So we just keep wrapping, that's fine. It can overlap. And then you can either use your glue stick to glue it down there, or you can use some tape again. And I'm just going to use tape because it's faster. But if you don't have tape and you have glue, then do that. And now that's going to be the back of my tiger. So then what does a tiger need? Well, he could use some ears. So let's draw some ears. And that's what that other piece of paper is for. So I'm going to draw 2 triangles. Kind of rounded sides. Like that. And by putting them right at the end, I only have to cut around the outsides like that. But before I do, I'm going to use one of my black markers and color the inside of his ears. So I'm going to draw another triangle, and I'm going to use a little piece of scrap cardboard underneath in case I go over the edges. So I'm just going to draw another triangle with my marker and then color that in. And do the same with the other side. Close that up so it doesn't dry out. And there are my 2 ears, so now I can just cut those out. There's one. There's 2. Now one thing you might want to do with the paper that's left over, you might want to make a tail. I didn't put a tail on my Leo, although I have one here that I can glue on. But what you would do is just draw a long line. And then some lines going across it. Because tigers are the ones with stripes. I always remember that the T that you hear in tiger, you also hear that T in stripes. So you know that they're not the ones that have the spots, they have the stripes. So then you can just cut that out. And you notice I went over the edges because when I cut, it'll be just the tail without those mussy things over on the sides. And I probably could have given you a pattern for a tail, but it has more personality if you draw it yourself. So there's my tail for Leo. So I've got my orange paper around it. I've got my ears. So what do I need to do? Well, I need to put on his eyes. So again, let's get out our glue sticks. Or if you have Elmer's glue, you can use that too. And then with that seam in the back, I'm just going to put his eyes maybe about 1 inch down, like that. do the other one. And once you have those on, that gives you the opportunity to decide where his mouth and his nose will be. So you're going to want to take a marker again, or a crayon, and you're going to want to draw a triangle underneath, so like that. And color that in. And then his mouth is just kind of like two U's, so there's one and there's two. And he needs some whiskers. Looks pretty good. While you have your glue stick out, you can put on his ears. And for this, you're going to want to put a little bit of glue right at the bottom, on the side you colored in, because you're going to put that right inside of that tube. And then the same with the other one. Okay, and then the last thing you need to do is give him some stripes. I like using a bigger marker for that, but as I said, if that's not what you have at home, that's fine. I liked 3 little V's up on the top of his head. And then he's going to have some stripes going around. And the easiest way to do that would either be to have Mom or Dad hold it, or you can hold it, but you're gonna. And again, they don't have to be real straight. And just keep drawing them around. And if they're splotchy, that's okay, because if you ever look at a tiger, they're not all solid. When you get around to the front, you can have it come in a little bit more. You didn't want to have those stripes on his face. But then we'll do another one. I thought about having us do the stripes before we put the paper on, but we needed to see how much it was going to overlap. So I think this will work just fine. There we go. And then if you did make a tail, you can stick that on him. And then your Leo will be all done. I think he looks ready to bloom. What do you think? All right, well, let's get ready for our last story. It's about another animal that has black markings, but only on white fur. I'll be right back. All right, so we're ready for our last story by Robert Kraus. Can you think of an animal that is black and white? Did somebody say zebra? No. This story isn't about a zebra. Can you think of something else that's black and white? What about a panda bear? That is what our story is about. This book is called Milton, the Early Riser, and it's about a little panda. Again, the pictures are by Jose Arguello and Arian Dewey. But the story, even if it's a simple one, is by Robert Kraus. I love pandas, don't you? But this panda is not looking very happy. Kind of looks the way that, the mouse wasn't looking very happy in the first story. And Leo certainly wasn't looking very happy. And now we've got Milton. Milton woke up early and went out to play. But there was nobody to play with. The creeps next door were still asleep. And so were the whippersnappers across the way, and the nincompoops in the back. The whole world seemed to be asleep. So Milton watched television, and the sleepers slept on. Milton jumped up and down. Can you jump up and down? We forgot to take a little break and do some action, didn't we? Stand up and jump up and down, just like Milton. And while you're doing it, well, the sleepers slept on. Milton danced and did tricks. But the sleepers slept on. Then Milton sang up a storm. The mountain shook. The trees trembled. And a whirlwind blew the sleepers out of bed. "Oh dear," said Milton. "What a mess." And he worked and worked, and he put things right. And just as everybody woke up, everybody but Milton, "Rise and shine," said Milton's father. "Wake up, sleepyhead," said Milton's mother. But Milton, the early riser, didn't hear a word. Can you guess? He was fast asleep. So our last project is going to be to make a panda bear like Milton. So let me get things all set up here. This is a little trickier project. You're going to need those scissors skills, but I'll be right back and I'll tell you what all we need. So we're ready for our last craft project, and as you can see, we're going to make Milton the Early Riser. Our Milton is a bit bigger than the other projects we did. He's 12 inches tall, but he's still a lot of fun. So let's see what we need. In your bag, you should have found a white paper plate, just a half of it, and we're going to use the bottom side of it. You also would find 2 black paper plates, and for those we're only going to use the outside edge. You should have found a white circle made of cardstock, and this I actually just traced the lid from a container from my kitchen to get the right size. You'll find some eyes, 2 ovals that will be the eye patches. You'll find a piece of black cardstock and a pattern for the ears and the nose. you'll find a piece of corrugated cardboard, and that's going to be our tree trunk. And then there's a piece of green copy paper, and we're just going to randomly cut some leaves out of that to put on our Milton's tree. All right, so shall we get started? The first thing you're going to want to do is get out that circle that you have. Now that's going to be the base for the face. We've already got the eye patches ready, so we need to get the ears and the nose for our panda bear. So take your pattern, and what I'm going to say is cut off one of the circles. Oh, you know what I forgot to say is what else we'll need for this that you might have at home. Now, we've already had scissors and a pencil and a glue stick. We'll need that marker again. We may use the tape. We're going to use that right now. And you're also going to need a stapler. Now you can use tape or glue stick, but it will hold together better, especially when we're working with the corrugated cardboard. It'll be easier with the stapler. So what I did was I trimmed off the other parts of the pattern, so I just had an ear. And then I'm going to take my piece of black cardstock and I'm going to fold it. If you've ever done programs with me, you know that I like to have it so that cutting once can serve two purposes. So I'm going to trim off the top of this because that's just in the way. But there I have my ear pattern, and it's on a folded piece of the black cardstock. And to hold it in place so I don't have to do it with my fingers, I'm just going to put some tape on it. And then I'm going to cut it out, and so when I'm done cutting, I'll have two ears for just cutting once. So let's do that quickly. Now it is tougher to cut through two layers of cardstock. I will admit that. So if you want, you can cut out your pattern and then trace it onto the black paper and cut each one separately. But now when I take the pattern away, I've got my two ears. And I have enough left on my black cardstock to take that nose that was on the pattern and cut that out. And again, you can tape it right on there because you're going to cut all the way around and the tape won't be in the way at all, but it holds it in place. Get it off. There we go. And there's his nose. Okay, looks good. So let's put him together. What I like to do is to kind of lay it out ahead of time so I get it the way I want it to look. His eyes are going to go this way, and I like the eye patches to kind of go at an angle so that they're leaning towards each other. And then I'll put the eyeballs on too. So there we are. So take your pencil and just draw a little line right where your ear sits behind the face. And the same thing here. I want you to draw a little line under the nose. And the reason we're drawing a line under the nose is because we're going to draw the mouth. So let me move this up so you can see. So I know that I need to have my line for the mouth. Let's see if I have an extra just to show you. There's going to be a line that comes down. So right down the center. And then I'm going to draw a line that looks very much like the line I traced. But that's going to be his smile. And it's time to get out your glue stick. And you see where my line is? Right there? I'm going to put glue right up to that line. and then stick it under his head so that his head covers the line and you don't see it, but it's right where I want it to be. Then I'll do the same with the other side. Put glue like that. Stick it under so I don't see my line and press it down. Take his nose, put some glue on it, and then where I've drawn that line, I'll put that right there, right above his smile. And then lastly, we'll put some glue on the eyeball, the eye patches. And then the last thing is going to be putting the eyeballs on. I think it's hard to put the glue on the back of these without getting your fingers all gluey. So what I like to do is just draw a little circle where it would go on the bear. And then pop my eyeballs on. There. And there's Milton. So we can push the head aside for a little bit. And then get out those black paper plates that you have. Remember I said you're going to trim all the way around the outside so that what happens is you get something that looks like this. Clear our space here. So can you do that? You cut in through here and then cut around so that you're left with just the rim of the plate. Then you're going to take your paper plate that is Milton's body and let's see, it's going to look kind of like that. You can tilt his head a little bit that way. And if you want, you can staple his head on right now. As I said, we're going to do all of our assembly of Milton with staplers. And I got very, very lucky on that one. I stapled it right on that line that I drew down. Doesn't really matter though. So once you get that in, then you're going to want to get out your piece of corrugated cardboard, which is his tree trunk, and line up one of your rims so that it can be his paw. And I'm going to have it go just about to there. So I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to trim it to round it off. So that'll be his. He'll be holding it like that. And then I'm going to take another end, trim that off because I want it straight. And that's going to be his leg. So that's going to go about to there. And then I've got an arm that I can use, or I can use what's left from the other plate. These will be his arms in the back. So let's start putting him together. Let's staple on this arm. Boys and girls, maybe you can hold his arm in place while Mom and Dad staples. Okay. And then his And you may want to do a double staple on that because since it's curved, it wants to bounce out. So there's that. And let's line it up again with our... It's hard to do this with him being so big. Let's see if I go up a little bit, if that helps. Okay. So he's going to be leaning into it and holding onto his tree. That looks good. So I'm going to staple it in. So there's Milton. Now he has his other arms, right, and his leg. So we can put those, staple it just like that. Because they're going to be behind him. As I said, you couldn't glue these, but the staples hold it better. And it doesn't really matter if those are stapled in. If you wanted to make sure that they stayed tight, you could just use some tape to hold it in place. So he's almost done. What I need to do now is just give him some leaves on his tree. And what I did was I took that piece of green cardstock and I cut it into smaller pieces so that I can do leaves. Remember how I did his ears? I'm going to cut once and wind up with a bunch of them. But as I said, when you do that, it is harder to cut the paper. So if little hands are doing the cutting, what you can do is you can draw some leaves on the paper and have them cut them out. But now, instead of having just one leaf, I have 6. So all I'm going to do is take my glue stick, put a little glue on him, and stick it on the tree. And there's our Milton the Early Riser. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you had fun with all of these crafts, and we'll be back next month with another Spotlight program. We're going to be focusing on books by Pat Hutchins. Hope we'll see you then. Bye-bye.